Seduced by a monk. One day, a disciple of the Buddha was walking through a village to seek food when he happened to come across an extremely beautiful girl. The girl was renowned as the most beautiful woman in the village, and many young men were captivated by her dance moves. From the first glance, the girl fell in love with the monk. She approached him and began to ask, "The rainy season is approaching, would you like to stay with me?" In this country, the rainy season lasts for 4 consecutive months, and monks need to find shelter during this time. The monk replied, "There's really no issue, this is truly a gift. However, I need to consult with my teacher, I need to ask for his approval. If he agrees, I will come back tomorrow morning and stay with you." The girl couldn't hide her surprise, she couldn't believe the monk's answer was so simple. People around started gossiping. Other monks heard the story and began to feel jealous. They couldn't accept it, but they waited, they thought that Buddha would say no, and the master would surely reject the other monk's proposal. A monk living with a beautiful girl? That was unthinkable. Surprisingly, when the monk came to ask, the Buddha looked at him, smiled, and said, "Everything is fine. You can go and stay with her." Everyone else stood up and exclaimed, "It's unfair. Don't you see the problem? He's a young monk, and that girl seems like a witch. Even the most virtuous kings would succumb to her beauty. You cannot agree to this." The Buddha calmly responded, "Please wait. Let's decide who is right or wrong after these 4 months. For now, let him go and stay with her." And so, 4 long months passed. For Buddha's disciples, it was an anxious wait for the results, eager to prove that Buddha was wrong. 4 months with a beautiful girl, he would surely be tempted. Then one day, when the rainy season ended, the young monk returned and bowed down to greet the Buddha. People around exclaimed, "Now tell us the truth. What happened?" The young monk replied, "Please wait a few minutes, for she is also on her way here. It's better that you hear the story from her." A few minutes later, the girl arrived, bowed to the Buddha, and in the astonishment of everyone, she said, "May the Buddha permit me to become a nun." The Buddha asked, "Why have you decided this?" "I tried to seduce him, but all my attempts failed. For 4 months, I tried everything, but he remained like a lotus flower. I have never failed in my life, but this is the first time I encountered a man like him. It turns out, all the men I met before were slaves to desire. They could be great kings, but they all fell before my beauty. I tried the most attractive dances, but he only sat in meditation. I provided him with the best food, beautiful clothes, and all comforts, and he accepted everything, yet I failed to attract him. Every night, I lay on the bed and waited, I saw desire rising in his eyes, but in the end, he just smiled and said, 'What are you doing? You'll catch a cold. Put on some clothes.' Those words changed my thinking, and now I also want to be like him, I want to become a lotus flower." No ordinary diamond. In India, there lived a wise master named Hanyatara, the 27th successor of Gautam the Buddha. A king from the southern regions invited him to his court. The king himself appeared, humbly bowing to Hanyatara and offering a magnificent diamond, the most precious gem in his possession. He then made a request, "Sir, please be kind. Let me call my 3 sons, and I ask for your blessings." Considering the young age of the princes, with the youngest being only 7, Hanyatara thought they might disrupt the sutra reciting, as he hadn't involved them before. The 3 young princes entered. Rather than immediately blessing them, Hanyatara displayed the diamond given by the king to the first prince, the eldest, likely around 15 years old. The prince admired the diamond, stating, "This is a remarkable diamond, with the finest and purest water. Where did you acquire such a rare and extraordinary gem? The prince's understanding of the diamond's quality was entirely accurate. It was a rare diamond, of the most flawless water, surpassing anything Hanyatara had seen before. Next, Hanyatara called the second prince, aged around 10. This prince examined the diamond and remarked, "Not only is it the finest and best, but it undoubtedly belongs to my father. In this kingdom, no one else can possess such a diamond. Sir, it is rare, and it doesn't belong to you. To safeguard this diamond, you would need a massive army." This prince's insight was also correct. Then came the turn of the third son, just 7 years old. He looked at the diamond, glanced at Hanyatara, and with a laugh, said, "What? Are you trying to fool me? You can't. Real diamonds aren't on the outside. What are you showing me? The real diamond is within you. I can see it. This is just a stone in your hand. Throw it, sir." It is said that Hanyatara hugged this small boy. The boy's name was Bodhitara, and Hanyatara changed his name to Bodhidharma. He eventually became the 28th successor of Buddha and the first patriarch of Zen in China. Hanyatara declared, "This boy has delved into the deepest reality one can explore, the ultimate reality known as Dharma. He has reached the ultimate reality." Speaking to the king, Hanyatara acknowledged that even the king couldn't see his inner diamond, missing his silent sermon and song. He emphasized, "I cannot fool this boy. He will be my successor." Then, addressing the king, Hanyatara expressed his forgiveness, explaining that he hadn't come for the king or due to his request but because of this boy. It was a promise from a past life, a predestined gesture. In a previous life, Hanyatara had told the boy, "I will seek you, find you, and show you a diamond. That will be the moment of your examination. If you can see my inner diamond and are not fooled, you will be my successor." Buddha with a black nose. Once upon a time, there was a Zen nun with a splendid golden Buddha, a stunning statue made of pure gold. Everywhere she went, she carried this Buddha along. In this country, monks and nuns had to keep moving for 8 months each year, from one temple to another. Except during the 4 rainy months. One day, she reached a Chinese temple, a unique place with 10,000 Buddha statues carved from the mountain. It took centuries to build this extraordinary temple. While staying there, the nun faced a constant worry. Every morning, as she worshipped her golden Buddha with flowers, sweets, and burning incense, she couldn't rely on the wind. The fragrance might not reach her Buddha's nose, it could drift in any direction. In that vast temple with 10,000 Buddhas, the fragrance seemed to go to other Buddha noses, causing her distress. She felt hurt, thinking, "My Buddha is golden, and those are just stones. After all, my Buddha is mine." This is how the mind works, so possessive that it fails to see they are all statues of the same man. Which nose catches the incense doesn't matter, it's reaching the Buddha. But the old possessive mind insists on my Buddha. To solve the problem, she came up with a simple method. She took a hollow bamboo, cut it into a small piece, and used it to direct incense smoke to her Buddha's nose, almost like making him smoke. However, this caused a new problem. Her Buddha's nose turned black, disturbing her even more. Embarrassed, she asked the high priest for advice. He inquired, "How did it happen?" She reluctantly confessed it was her own doing and explained everything. The priest chuckled and shared profound wisdom, "All these are Buddhas here. Whether it reaches one Buddha or 10,000 Buddhas doesn't matter. Don't be miserly and possessive. Buddha can't be yours or mine. The Buddha's nose turned black due to your possessiveness. He added, our possessiveness is making each other's faces black. If we could give without considering to whom it reaches, because it reaches to whomever, it's part of the same existence we are part of.